Hey, what's up everyone? Tedrick85 here, and today I'm going to be talking about episode 10 of book 3 of The Legend of Korra, titled Long Live the Queen. Which, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, the title of the episode is kind of deceiving because, I'm just going to say it. The Earth Queen ends up biting it in the end. I'll explain a little bit more about that later, but, first of all, I do want to apologize for the last video in that I said, episode 8 instead of episode 9, which was the last video of the stakeout, so I do apologize for that. But the big thing, and there's a lot of talk about in this episode, and I could spend easily a half an hour talking about it. But the main focus here I want to talk about here is the continuing tyranny of Zaheer and his gang and that. And like I said a minute ago, that his main targets are going to be these political leaders, starting with the Earth Queen and President Draco from Republic City. Which his first target is the Earth Queen, because what ends up happening was that Zaheer and the Earth Queen ended up making a deal where involving Korra. He gets to see Korra once the Earth Queen's forces end up bringing him back to Ba Sing Se, which is where Zaheer and his gang are at. But as we saw before, the Earth Queen doesn't keep her end of the bargain in that, which I think that Zaheer kind of knew that to begin with in that, but like I said in the last video, this is a very clever villain we're dealing with. It's someone that really understands the situation around him and is trying to be as calculated as possible and to try to think every angle, which makes him so dangerous. But the Earth Queen was expecting the Avatar Korra, but as we found out earlier in the episode, Asami ends up breaking herself and Korra out because Asami knows the mechanics of the airship, which are from Cabbage Corps, and she says that they're not made as good as future industry airships, which she clearly proved by getting herself from the metal pole that she was restrained to that. But she was able to break herself and Korra out, and Korra ends up incapacitating everybody, but at the same time, she accidentally breaks controls doing so, so they end up getting stranded in the desert. Which the Earth Queen finds out, and she sends someone else over to get the Avatar, which Zaheer ends up eavesdropping at, which gets himself in trouble with the Earth Queen, but as we can see, Zaheer, Gazan, Minghua, and Pli can pretty much take hold of their own in that, and what ends up happening is that in her attempts to try to apprehend Zaheer, she found out that her forces are no match for these villains and that, and she ends up discussing things with Zaheer one last time, but knowing that he has the upper hand, what he ends up doing is using his airbending and sucking the lungs out of her air and essentially suffocating her, which is a airbending move that we've never seen before, and judging by what his abilities that we've seen already, that's probably not the last trick that he has up his sleeve, so that just adds more fuel to the danger and that, just how dangerous this guy can be. But, yeah, by killing the Earth Queen, he ends up essentially liberating Ba Sing Se of the monarchy, which I gotta get to a funny moment here in a minute, but, going back to the desert where Asami and Korra are being stranded in the desert, Asami does end up getting the people that were on the airship to help her refix the airship, which she succeeded, but as soon as they were about to take off, this giant sand shark comes up and completely obliterates the airship, so they had to try not to get killed by this thing. And now they face a situation of having a airship being blown apart to pieces, and they're trying to figure out what to do. Which Asami suggests making a makeshift sail, which what we saw the Sandbenders did in the Avatar: Last Airbender in Book 2 and that. So she gets onto that, but Meanwhile, as you're probably wondering what happened to Mako and Bolin from the last episode, while Asami and Korra were breaking themselves out of the airship and that, they were being transported to Ba Sing Se and that, used as leverage for Zaheer and that, and while they're in captivity, there's a very interesting conversation between Bolin and Gazan, and he talks to him and that, he tries to guess about what Gazan's life and that, and Gazan plays along with it, and he seems rather intrigued, which I think was a really interesting conversation, and that which Mako scolds him because he's like, "Hey, what are you doing trying to befriend the enemy?" and that. So, and so they end up getting thrown into the jail in Ba Sing Se and that, which Bolin is still down, feeling kind of down for not knowing metal bending, and Mako tries to pep him out. He goes, "This is your time, brother. You gotta do this and that." Though, so this gets Bolin going and that. So Bolin tries, but once again he fails in that, and kind of made the cellmate beside him excited, but Bolin wasn't able to do it. And then later on in the episode, Mako told him that once again it's his time to show everyone that he can metal bend. And of course, Bolin goes, "Well, I thought you said the last time was the last." And Mako goes, "No, I said that last time, but it's your time now." So what ends up happening is he tries metal bending, and when Zaheer quote unquote liberated Ba Sing Se, he unlocked every single one of the cell locks. So all the prisoners escaped, and Bolin thought he actually metal bent at first, and then Mako, you see him with his, he's doing a face palm. He's like, "Bolin, I don't think that was you." And then Bolin kind of has this darn expression on his face. So I thought that was kind of funny in that, but and the episode ends with Asami and Korra managing to get themselves and the airship guards to safety via this makeshift sail that Asami built, while at the same time escaping death from the sand shark and that they were very nearly eaten, but thanks to Korra's firebending that didn't happen. So they end up surviving and meeting up with Tonrak, Lin, and Lord Zuko, which Korra sees Lin right away, and she knows he's kind of on her bad side for leaving, pursuing after Zaheer and that. But as the episode ends, Korra tells her dad Tonrak about the Red Lotus, in which he didn't even know what it was, and here she says that they're gonna be the ones that are wreaking havoc on Ba Sing Se as well as the rest of the world and that. And that Zaheer is the leader of this. So yeah, that's we now know that Zaheer and his gang are in fact the Red Lotus and that. So from now on, I'm gonna be referencing to them as the Red Lotus. Which also interesting enough, which I didn't talk about the last episode, which I should, which I'm gonna talk about as kind of like my closing point of this video. Which is that Unalaq used to be a part of the Red Lotus, but he ends up breaking off from them. As a matter of fact, not only did he break off, but he ends up betraying Zaheer, Ghazan, Mingwan, and Pli due to his own aspirations of leadership and that, and wanting to rule everything and being the Dark Avatar. Which Zaheer told Korra himself that it was never part of the deal of the Red Lotus to have someone turn into the Dark Avatar, and especially Unalaq, and that he did tell Korra that Unalaq was doing that on his own accord and not part of the Red Lotus. So, and the only reason why I bring this up is because it's interesting that Unalaq was able to do this while Tonrak not knowing. But then again, Tonrak would probably assume that anyway, considering what Unalaq did to him when they were younger and that trying to frame Tonrak from destroying that tribe and that from the last book and that. So, but yeah, there are only 3 more episodes of this book left, and it should prove to be a really good 3 episodes, and I can't wait to see them. And on a final note, I'm really glad that I'm able to do this episode. I cannot wait to Friday to do the next episode, and that I'm now caught up, and hopefully, pending my work schedule, I won't get too far behind on my videos and that, and especially my vlog and that. So I'm pretty happy about that. So that's pretty much it. So thank you for watching, and see you again next time.